I saw the Nazi leaders die. As International News Service correspondent representing the entire American press, I stood within a few feet of the 10 condemned princes of Nazism paid the supreme penalty for their crimes against the peace of the world. The experience was like a weird nightmare. It was not just 10 men being executed. It was the end of the living symbols of the most terrible despotism the world has known since the Dark Ages. All 10 of these evil men of Nazism endeavored to make a show of bravery as they went to their deaths, but they did not die like martyrs. There was no walking to the gallows with the fearless stride of men who believed they were dying for a great ideal. What courage most of them showed was that of bitter, hateful defiance. The executions were carried out in the barn-like interior of a small gymnasium building in the prison yard of the Nuremberg city jail. Led by the once arrogant diplomatic double-crosser of Nazism, von Ribbentrop, the condemned men were brought in one at a time. With hands tied behind their backs, they mounted the 13 forbidding wooden steps of the black scaffolds under the glare of bright electric lights. The most excited and enraged man of all was Julius Streicher, the Jew baiter. This ugly, dwarfish little creature was glowering with bitter hatred and defiance as he walked to the gallows. Just as he was about to mount the steps leading up to the platform on which he was to hang, he shrieked at the top of his voice, "Heil Hitler!" When asked if he had any last words to say as he stood beneath the gallows rope, he screamed, "The Bolsheviks will hang you one day." Streicher was the only one to speak after the black hood had been placed over his head and the rope was being adjusted around his neck. He mentioned the name of his wife. When the last man had been hung, the dead body of Goering was brought into the death chamber on a stretcher. It was placed on the floor between the 2 gallows that had been used for the executions. I thought for a moment they were going to hang the dead body of this crown prince of Nazism who had managed to cheat the gallows of Allied justice at the last moment by committing suicide a few hours before he was to lead the parade of death. However, the army officials only wished us to see that he was definitely dead. As I watched this last great act in the tremendous drama of history, I found it difficult to believe that this little band of miserable men, not long ago dominated by barbaric ruthlessness nearly all of Europe and terrified most of it,